Hi guys, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you a series of lighting setups that you can achieve using Mylar, which is a reflective material which you can lay down and create various ocean effects and reflective images as well. So we've got Hannah back with us as well today. She's also wearing a sequin outfit to also go with the silver effect. Now our first lighting setup is going to be a 2-light setup, and we've got an optic snoot here and a blue gel here. Now we've got Hannah lying on the floor currently, and what we'd want is to give the effect that she's lying on water. So we've got an optic snoot which is just going to be projecting a light onto Hannah, but can you see on the background here, as our modelling bulb is showing, it gives all these ripple water effects on our white backdrop. Now you need to use a white backdrop because you need to be getting those reflections in the images, and what we're going to be doing as well, I'm going to turn each of these lights off so you can see what each one does, but we've got a blue gel because we want to go with that ocean theme. Now I'm going to be shooting at 200ths of a second, f4 at 100 ISO, which is a little bit different to what we normally do, and this is because of the optic snoot. We've got this on full whack. We've got one of these gobos in which has just got full of circles to give a bubble effect, and we're not worried about if this is in focus or not. But I prefer to have it out of focus so that we get enough light shining on Hannah, and we get more of a reflection look than the actual optic thing. But what Chris is going to kindly do, as we've got the modelling bulb on, you can see where the gobo is hitting Hannah's face. So we always want to be making sure that Hannah is illuminated there. So I'm going to show you a shot now of what the final result is, and then I'm going to break down the image for you. First of all, I'm going to show you what the optic snoot is doing. Now, I'm just showing you the gobo in place. So this is going to be reflecting down, hitting Hannah, and we're also going to get water reflections on our white backdrop. Now, if you do use a different color backdrop, those reflections will be harder to actually see. And we've got this on full whack because we really want to be projecting Hannah there. So if I just do a shot now, it's probably going to come out very, very silver grey looking. So it's going to take a couple of photos. Chris is just going to make sure that modelling light is on Hannah's face there, and as you can see, it looks amazing, really reflective, and they're coming out very, very grey at the moment as well. But you've got to be making sure that you are getting Hannah in those gaps with this gobo. Now then, as you can see at the top of the image, can you see you get all that white reflection there? But to make it more oceany looking, we just want a teal blue gel. Just got it on a barn door, and we're going to get this hitting our ceiling because we want this light to fill the room. If we aim it at the backdrop, it may blow out the reflections caused by this. So we want to make sure that this is really nice and soft. So I'm just going to put it on. I've got it on quite a low power because we don't want to be blasting out what our optic snoot is actually doing. We just want a subtle blue in there. So it's just going to hit the ceiling, as you can see here. As it's a white ceiling, it's just going to reflect down onto Hannah, and then we will get a blue effect. So if I just take a couple of photos for you, and what you'll probably find now that we've got the blue on, we can even see the modelling bulb from the optic snoot even more. And I'll just give Chris a couple of seconds just to get that gobo hitting Hannah there. So as you can see, you get a really, really wonderful water effect. Now if we turn this light up, more blue's going to come through, but it's probably going to lose a little bit of the effect happening on the backdrop there. But just to show you how it does happen. Okay. So that blue is coming through a lot more. So I would, as a tip, put that gel on and then slowly keep turning up the power of the light until you balance it with our optic snoot. Now another thing to bear in mind, I'm on my knees, but if I'm going to take these photos, I really want to be on the floor with Hannah, the same level, and keeping this camera as low to the floor as possible. So when I take the photo, it looks like my camera's coming along the water as well. And as we're taking more and more, make sure that your camera is as low to the floor with your model as well to give this water effect. Now, if you do want to do some close-up portraits like this, where Hannah's lying on there, and you get a nice reflection as well, just make sure you are getting the whole reflection in, as you are seeing here. Now, of course, water is not always perfectly still. the more Hannah moves, it's going to create different ripples. So just imagine the water going around, swirling around Hannah, giving those rippled effects. So you're not going to get a perfect reflection. It's always going to come out rippled. And when you do shoot this, make sure, if you're shooting Hannah like so, make sure there's enough room at the top to also get the reflections on the white backdrop. Now I'm going to swap over these gobos now, and I'm going to show you what will happen if you just put a solid circular gobo in place instead. So we're just going to put this circular gobo in, because what would be a really cool effect is to get the sun setting behind effect. So we're going to pop this in and we're going to put it behind Hannah. I've just had to move the optic snoot further back just to make this circular circle bigger, to get as much of Hannah illuminated with this as possible. So we pop it in place. I don't mind if it's out of focus a little bit, but we just want to pop it in there, and we just want to move it so that it's going to illuminate Hannah as much as giving a sunset behind. So can you see the semicircle behind there? We're also getting Hannah illuminated. I don't need to change camera settings. Okay, so I'm just going to go back down to Hannah's height, and we can still see the light be behind, and we can get a nice ripple effect there, as if there's the sun setting behind. Now what I would recommend is don't put a gel on that, or else what will happen is whatever colour it is, it will all turn that colour. Now you can use gels if you want to have a fill-in colour like we got with the blue gel here. We can try a red very quickly for you too, but I'd recommend, if you are doing this shoot, to go with either a teal blue or a dark blue to give that ocean effect. Could I get that arm slightly in? I don't know if it needs to bend just a little bit towards you or towards me, so it's more, instead of straight, it's more like that, just to get it in. So just before we do move on, I just thought it'd be really cool to get some of Hannah actually sat up as well. So we've moved the gobo, also the optic snoot, higher up, so it looks like a higher sunset. We've still got the blue firing as well, and you can just get some really lovely effects. And again, you just want to make sure that that semicircle or that circle is just illuminating Hannah as well. You still get the ripple effects happening there. Now I am going to swap over the gels just to actually show you that you can use any other colours, but the reason we did recommend blue is to give you the ocean vibes. I swapped over to a red gel because I kind of thought we'd get more of a sunset vibe. Now if the red is too much for you but you do want a sunset, don't be afraid to try orange. I would avoid yellow, but definitely orange to also do this. So we just kept everything else the way it is, but you'll get some lovely colours and vibes doing this as well. I did have to turn up the red gel light a little bit, just because the red is a lot darker tone than a teal, so the power of the light did have to go up by about half a stop, but it's not made any changes to our camera settings at all, and you can just get some really great shots here as well. Now we're going to show you another lighting setup, but using we're going to make the whole scene silver now, and we're going to get Hannah stood in the middle of it, and we're going to show you a 1, 2 and 3 light setup. So we got our next setup ready for you. So these are all using emergency shelter wraps, which if you split open, you can turn them into silver walls. And now as you can see, it's been pinched in places using little clips as well. So when we take the photos, the light's going to reflect around everywhere. I'm going to give Chris this. All right, and so we got we're mostly going to be shooting the back wall, but we have got the sides on just for a particular reason I'm going to show you shortly. We've got our big bowl reflector light showing here. It has got a grid on it because we just want to concentrate on Hannah's face here. But what's going to happen is when this hits Hannah, it's going to reflect everywhere and give this kind of burst of light around. So I'm just going to take a couple of shots. We have changed our camera settings. We're now back at f8, 200ths of a second, 100 ISO. We have got a floor as well, so we are going to do some full length as much as 3/4. So if I just do a couple of shots at full length first, you can now see that light reflecting everywhere around our image. As it is a bowler light and you do full length, Hannah's feet are going to get a little bit darker than the rest of her, but I prefer shooting 3/4 length, which is why I'm using this instead of something like a beauty dish. So I'm going to go back to 3/4 length now, and you can see where the silver has pinked, it's going to reflect the light everywhere with the example you are now seeing. We're just going to do a couple more as well. So if you're happy with this silver look, that's absolutely fine, but we're going to show you what happens when you also add gels to this. I've added a pink gel which is just going to hit the side here, but what's going to happen is when it hits the side here, it's going to reflect around. Now I quite like pink and white in terms of color tones, so I've not put an extra light here yet, but you want to make sure when you start adding gels with this that you do balance it with this front light. So I have been doing a few little tweaks which I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you this shot, and we're just going to turn that up. It's the tiniest bit just to try and get a nice balance. The brighter the pink is, the more it will appear in the photo, so it depends how subtle you want to make it. As you can see, some of it is hitting around this side as well. Now you can pick any color. I just picked pink because I've got two complementary colors we're going to show you in the next lighting setup. But you can use any color for this, and you can get brilliant results. So I'm going to add in another light now, and we're going to be getting a multi-color look to these images to finish off. So I've added our third light. I have put the teal gel back on because pink and blue work really well, and this gives a wonderful effect. Now these gels are Jake Hicks gel lighting pack, so I'll put a link in the description for you. So we've got the blue now hitting the right hand side, and it's going to reflect there and bounce around. Same with the pink on the left, is going to bounce around. I've turned down this bowler reflector light just so that the gels can also get a little bit more prominent in this set, because this was really blasting out some of the colour you may have seen in the previous lighting setup. And I'm just going to keep to 3/4 length just for the moment. Now the reason it's so important to be pinching that backdrop is because it's really bouncing the light around now, and you get all this multi pink and blue effect on the background. And as Hannah's also wearing a silver outfit as well, it's also illuminating that as well, so we get a really lovely coloured effect. Now these emergency UV blankets you can get very cheap on Amazon and eBay, so you can do this lighting setup at home if you wish. You can do it with just one light or 3 lights, or even 2, depending on how limited you are. We're going to have a bit more fun with this, but I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one.